Hello, I'm Alex from BC Designer. Digital transformation has been a trending topic over the last decade. Organizations call in this way any efforts in implementing digital technologies. As a vendor of strategy planning software, we help our users automate their digital transformation strategies. And in this video, I'd like to share the lessons that we learned. We are going to talk about three steps an organization needs to follow to formulate and successfully execute a digital transformation strategy. If you're looking for a more formal explanation of our approach, then check out the link to the article about digital transformation in the description for this video. Probably one of the main success factors of the digital transformation is its focus on the needs of internal and external customers. You might argue that any company focuses on the needs of their clients. Well, that's not always the case. For example, many companies offer their apps for a smartphone, but do all of them really add value for you as an end user? Many organizations promote their presence and possibility to contact them in social media, but do they really communicate there or just respond with a basic greeting message and suggest contacting them via classical channels? On their corporate dashboards, these initiatives probably look good, but they neither help end users nor make the job of the internal team easier. How then can you focus the digital transformation on the needs of the customers? Well, there are many ideas out there. Our suggestions will be related to the strategy and performance measurement domain. Let's start with the first step preparation for the transformation journey. Implement the culture of data driven decisions in your organization. What is a culture? In this context, culture is a set of behavior patterns. Then, what behavior patterns do we need to start making the decisions based on data? Here are the ideas that we find helpful. 1. Make sure your team knows that strategy is a hypothesis or educated experiment, not a fixed plan. Applying this idea to the digital transformation domain means that even the best digital technologies need to be tested before implementation on scale. Your team needs to find out if technology actually solves the needs of the customers. And the best way to do this is to do experiments. 2. Your team will need to quantify the experiments or put observations on some numerical scale. The term KPI is not correct in this case, but it's now used for basically any business related number, so just accept it. We cannot change the term, but at least we can make sure that there is a right perception of this term. When you say KPI, most people imagine a bonus linked to some strange metric. Try to replace the perception of a KPI term with the idea that the KPI is a base for the discussion. When you discuss with your team the goals and their meanings, you want to replace vague ideas with something more tangible and specific. Finding the right KPI is a good way to do this. 3. Make sure there is a good understanding of the difference between success factors and expected outcomes. The expected outcomes are what you want to achieve. The success factors are what you need to have to achieve the outcomes. Easy, right? Now, to quantify the expected outcomes, we use login metrics. And to quantify the success factors, we use the leading metrics. If you want to see the complete picture of your goals, plan with leading and lagging KPIs in mind. In the description for the video, I have added the link to the article where we discuss the difference in detail. Now, when your team is equipped with a basic understanding of performance measurement, it's time to find three important metrics: user engagement, product or service complexity, and perceived value. All three will help us answer a simple question: do the digital transformation efforts lead us in the right direction or not? The user engagement is the simplest metric. You can pick some metrics like the time users spent on the website or the number of leads or something more sophisticated like Net Promoter Score. The idea is to find a metric that will be a quick feedback about the user's reaction to your product. Obviously, the user engagement metric has its limitations. It's a lagging metric. It tells you where you are now, but it tells you little about how to improve. In contrast, the product complexity can be a good leading metric. It will tell you how your clients learn your product and how the typical functions are used. In the context of digital transformation, the idea is to control the complexity for the end users and make sure that with technical advances of your product or service, the complexity for the end users decreases. What about perceived value metric? Think about the Kodak company that produced photographic films and film cameras. They are often used as an example of a company that missed the digital market. Let's look at the case from the perspective of metrics. User engagement index. It was high, as customers were happy with Kodak's film products. Product complexity. Revealing films was complex and required additional equipment, but that's how things worked for a long time. The most important, their market was not the films, but the moments and memories their clients wanted to capture on those films. The perceived value in this case could quantify the effectiveness of capturing those memories. It's not about user engagement. Complexity metric is generally a good proxy for their perceived value, but they don't always overlap. Sometimes people are ready to try something new, even if it means higher complexity for them. Think about early Tesla cars. Your team is now equipped with a proper performance measurement culture. You also found some good engagement, complexity, and value metrics. What's next? Where to find the ideas for the digital transformation? Do not start with just technology in mind. Instead, look at the challenges that your company and your customers are facing right now, or the challenges they will face in near future. For a disciplined approach, use a pestle analysis. Users of BC Designer will find it among the templates available for their account. I will add the link to the step-by-step guide for using the pestle in the description section. There are many strategy definition frameworks that could help in this case. Analysis of the competitive landscape is generally a good idea. We recommend 5 forces and Vrio frameworks for this purpose. We finished with the first step, preparation. On the second step, let's think a little bit about the automation tools for strategy execution. For a successful digital transformation, your team will need to track some performance metrics, map the goals, define the initiatives, track performance over time, align different parts of the strategy, etc. On a small scale, you can do all this in spreadsheet software. If you plan to scale, make sure you have specialized software for strategy execution. Our BC Designer is one of the leading tools of this type, and there is a free plan suitable for small projects. We share some thoughts about the application area of the spreadsheets and the benefits of the specialized software in an article I will share in the description for this video. We are now on step 3. Let's continue with the digital transformation strategy. As a result of using the business framework like Pestle, you will have many insights. Use the Balanced Scorecard framework to organize these ideas into 4 perspectives. Here is an example of the strategy map for digital transformation. When you create a strategy map for your digital strategy, follow these ideas. In the financial perspective, map the results that you want to achieve for your stakeholders. In the customer perspective, map the value that you will create for your customers. Then think about the ways to achieve all these aspirations. Think about the drivers of the strategy. Map the goals for the business systems and product development in the internal perspective. Map the skills and infrastructure needed in the learning perspective. Users of BC Designer have access to the digital transformation template. You can customize it according to your needs, adding more specific goals, custom dashboards, tracking performance indicators, and importing your own data. Now you have a high-level digital transformation strategy that shows a general direction. Your team will also need to have some specific guidance. They will have their own functional scorecards with the goals that contribute to the overall strategy directly or indirectly. Most likely, you will have functional scorecards for cybersecurity, social media, remote work, customer service, talent management, innovations. All these domains are highly demanding for digitization efforts. Users of BC Designer have access to the templates that will save your team time in getting started with these functional scorecards. Your team will need to connect the functional scorecards to the high-level strategy. The process is called alignment or cascading. Some scorecards will contribute directly to the performance of other scorecards, like, for example, sales of local offices contribute to overall sales. In some cases, there will be indirect contribution when a functional scorecard contributes to the overall strategy via a success factor and respective leading indicator. With automation software, alignment is easy. For example, in BC Designer, you can have many scorecards and link them together the way you need. It's possible to link two scorecards by simply copy and pasting the indicators between them. We talk about this in one of the onboarding tutorials. When the core of the strategy is ready, plan some regular strategy sessions. A strategy session or a strategy meeting is a repetitive process that includes analysis of the challenges, control experiments, implementation, and learning loop. In a case of digital transformation strategy, before implementing technologies on scale, test and validate them with the selected metrics. The strategy is updated according to the lessons learned, and the team passes to the next iteration. In the description for this video, I will share the link to the article where strategy meetings are discussed in detail. We discussed the 3 steps to build a digital transformation strategy. We hope these guides will help your organization execute the digital strategy more effectively. Thank you for your attention.